Hey folks, I actually had to cancel the recording I was doing. I've got a dehumidifier in this room because of all the books and stuff, and it just decided to kick on, and so it's this huge sound in the background. I didn't want to have it. Anyway, so we got to play RQG tonight. Normally play on Friday nights, but I just spent 3 days this week with the youth in my church at one of the summer camp things, and putting up and taking down the kitchen, 2 to 3 times a day, and moving boxes and transporting stuff places, and it just that heat and humidity took a toll on me. So I was not on my best feeling Friday. I also had a pounding headache just started coming up just for game time, and so texting the guys, "Hey guys, sorry, I'm gonna have to pull out. Can we do tomorrow night?" And everybody could, so it was great because it turned out that 3 of the players would have been late to the game Friday night because of other things going on. So that's best. So we left the party. We had just finished the end of year phase, the sacred time, and we're in Runegate, and so we're starting sea season, and they've got these 3 prisoners, and they're going to take these back to Queen Laika. They do let the Lord of Runegate, Severos, hey, you want to interrogate these guys? We couldn't really get much out of them ourselves. He doesn't really get much, well, certainly not anything more out of them, but he questions, how, 7 guys could be taking out some of the caravans that have not come through that should have, that kind of thing. And so he's concerned maybe this was just like a scouting party or something. So, maybe there's more going on here. So the party takes the bandits, and they go to Apple Lane, then down to Black Spear, and then to Clearwine. And it's rain day one, almost 2 inches of rain that day, so fairly significant. But they get to Apple Lane as it's getting dark, and there's a tribal patrol, because the tribe does do patrols around the area, coming through Apple Lane at the same time. It just so happens that one of Arestra's axe sisters is on that patrol. And so they get chit chatting, and so there's a little bit of interplay, and David sort of hits on this axe sister as well. So it's sort of this social dynamic, role playing opportunities. Actually, I thought pretty good. I don't know if my part in the whole thing went very well, but the players did great. I checked to see if anything was going on with the baboons in the area. Nothing. Excuse me, my goodness. And night otherwise goes uneventful. They get down to Black Spear. They leave Black Spear the next morning. As they're leaving Turndices, I'm not sure I'm saying her name right, Grove area forest, and there's some discussion about that, and it's all in the live play, by the way, as well. To help the guys understand what we're really talking about, because somebody spotted and somebody else heard some in the woods, and it turns out there's some elves there, and one of them comes out, to talk with the party, and asks for their help. Can you help us, kind of thing. And then there's a little discussion about trade talk, because in my Glorantha, trade talk is not like a universal common language. It's talk for trade, right? What color, how much, simple sorts of vocabulary. So it's kind of fun as I'm trying to think, okay, this is what the elves want to get across. What kind of words are they going to use that I can then use for the party, so the party can get an idea, but still using simple language. And then the party doing the exact opposite. Okay, this is what we wanted to ask the elves, and how do we say that? And so it was kind of fun. So it turns out that Black Spear guys were chopping down more wood than they were supposed to. There was an agreement, you cut down so much wood, you have to replant so many trees, that kind of thing, with the elves in the grove, and they weren't following the letter of the law, and so the elves were getting upset, and they were hoping to, hey, these are humans, maybe they'll be able to talk with the other humans, and that kind of thing, and but one the players actually came up with, well, hey, why don't you mark out the trees that they're allowed to cut down, and that's all they can cut down. And while the head elf guy didn't really like that idea, he agreed to take it back to his people, and let those with authority decide, and they'll run with it from there. So thank you, goodbye. First time any of my players ran to elves, and I'm still kind of dithering with how I'm going to interact with elves. I was kind of trying to pull off what I remember from the Dollar Tree scenario, which is a Judges Guild RuneQuest. I guess it's a gateway, not Glorantha necessarily, scenario, because it had to do with a similar sort of thing. But I imagine I'm way off base. But there's an idea. Humans are not doing what they're supposed to. Please help us. And there's actually another scenario that I want to pull in at some point that involves elves, specifically some dryads. So it's actually a new part of forest. So you've got a handful of young dryads. That's part of this whole scenario thing. So I'm hoping at some point to be able to pull that out and get that conversion going and play with that some. But anyway, down to Clearwine. They take the prisoners up to the palace. One of the guards there, hey, Queen Lake has sent us on this mission. We found some bandits. Yeah, here's the survivors. She can, you guys can interrogate them, find out whatever else you could, because we only found out so much. They go and do their thing again. So again, some live play, interaction, role playing kind of stuff on what would these people actually. Okay, let's go to the coffee shop. Is there a coffee shop in Clearwine? No, but there's a place that people go, like a tavern or something, to just relax, wind down, talk and chat, and just socialize. So they try to pull that in, which is great. I appreciate them, going forward with that. Okay, what's we want to do while we're here? They also got the armor and weapons from the two cultists. They had the funky stuff. They took that to the Isri's temple to have them, evaluate, is there any real value in this kind of stuff? And then, went about their day kind of stuff. The next day, the Isri's guys say, hey, yeah, wow, it's, interesting. All this, water, fish, waves motif is interesting. And, maybe some geesey guys might like that. It's just, regular armor stuff. Nothing special about them. Day after that, they get summoned by the queen, so they go up and actually stayed longer. There was a delay between when they got there and when they actually able to see the queen, which is longer than normal. Not sure what was behind that. I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, they get involved with the queen. There's guys also, hey, here's this stuff. Take a look at this. It's kind of interesting. And so her guys say, hey, yeah, let's take a look at that. She's also concerned that, 7 folks isn't really enough to be taking out these guys, because most bandit bands, while you have some that are down that single digit numbers, most of them are closer to like 20 or 30. So she's kind of concerned that maybe there's something bigger going on. They were able to extract some information. The party actually knew some of this information anyway, but I just brought it up that they were able to extract the fact that the 2 local guys, they're Milani tribesmen, were kind of hired on, but there's some piracy going on up and down on the creek as well, besides the banditry on the road. They have some kind of fortress on one of the tributaries from the creek, and if you guys could check that out for us, the more information we have, the better. You don't need to storm the castle. certainly not going to sneak around because there's that kind of verbiage came out. Go spy on the place. Yeah, we're really sneaky, aren't we, guys? Because none of them have any stealth skills. So kind of given the march, just check things out, see what you can find out, see what kind of numbers are they dealing with. Again, this is on the other side. This is in Dragon New Wilds, so they don't really have a bite in it. But if they're causing problems up and down the creek, and on the road, we would like to get a stop to that because not only is when there's a discussion about this in the live play as well, by the way, about most of the traffic does go down the King's Road from furthest on down, right? But some people, try to take a quick down the creek. There are ducks in the Two Sisters that will lead river traffic through the Lecties Marsh down to the stream, and then down the stream down to Karst. So it can be quick, but it can also be a little dangerous. Now, I understand that once you pass the marsh, the rivers themselves are more rapidish than slower moving rivers. So I had not previously known that or taken that into consideration, but that's part of the whole stuff going off in my head about this river traffic, why there's still river traffic, and pirates and that kind of thing. Plus, it came out that so the stuff coming from furthest that's not coming from furthest, or not as much as coming from furthest. And on the reverse side, from No Chet north, there's been problems with piracy in the bay. So prices are starting to go up. Okay, so you're going to task, go back up there, check it out. And it so happens that I've started to experiment with Owlbear Rodeo for a mapping tool. Excuse me. And Ink Art, I think, is the map creation tool that I've been playing with as well. So I have built the southern portion of the Two Sisters that fits my Glorantha because of what I want it to be and what it to mean, and other stuff that's connected to that. And I started the northern section. And messing with Owlbear, I saved that as a picture file and then upload it into Owlbear and do all the blackout kind of stuff just to play with it. Okay, players, what do you see? I see what I see, but what do you see? And so there's some discussion on that. Now, that may be before I started doing the recording, though. But it became obvious then I've got a map of the Two Sisters up. Brian's planning on the party going to the Two Sisters. It's just kind of funny that all the rest of the time I was talking about going to what's it called? Blue Fox, which is a Milani tribal village, but it's on the creek, just to see what they're finding out from there, that kind of thing. So, and then one of the places, well, I think maybe we should go towards Two Sisters. So, the GM seems to be looking that way. Excuse me. Okay, so Moraine. So they're heading up to Runegate. A little past midway between Clearwine and Black Spear, they get attacked by bandits. And I'm using the, where is that thing? The Hero Quest, name no longer authorized, Sartar Companion for random encounters. That's something that gives the world some feel of things going on. And sometimes really dumb stuff like farmers. Okay, yeah, you're going to be running to farmers all the freaking time. You don't need to have a special role for just farmers. That kind of stuff. You want unusual things because you're going to run into farmers and you're going to run into travelers and caravan stuff, on and off all the time. It's not some special event. Elves, right? That's a special event that needs to be on there. Bandits, that's a special event that needs to be on there. So, that bandit, 7 to 35 bandits. Rolled out, turned out to be 17 of them. I didn't want the combat to get too detailed and pulled down, so I'm thinking these bandits, they're looking for an easy mark. They're all laying down in the high grass. They got a couple of spies, scouts that are spying for them. Okay, here they come. Now they all jump up and charge the road, so they're within a melee round. So you got a melee round to get ready, unless you take them completely by surprise. So everyone scan rolls. Those who miss the scan rolls can make their listen rolls. So okay, you're not surprised, so you can take an action this round, kind of thing, while they're charging up on you. And I didn't want to get bogged down again, because RuneQuest combat can get really bogged down. So I was just keeping real simple stats on what's going on. And there's the leader guy, and there's the two spy scout guys. I didn't have them really do much of anything. And then you've got the rest of the standard bandits, right? 2-point chest, 1-point abdomen, nothing on the arms, legs, or head. Think if the bandits, they'd outfit themselves better, right? But I did the number one guy because he's called a warrior in there, so I made him a light infantry guy. So he's got 3 points everywhere. And his skill level is a little higher than theirs. And I just kind of, okay, the bandits are at 50, he's at 75. And then as soon as a bandit gets hurt, he's ditching out. Especially when there's 5 PCs, Hey, I took an arrow in the arm, guys. I'm sorry, I'm backing out. But 2 guys got taken in the legs and they went down. And they start ganging up on the number 1 guy because he was. I let the players decide who they're fighting. Give me number 2, 1 to 17, so I can keep track of who's going down, that kind of thing. And Miriam decided to go with number 1. Number 1's the leader guy. But as soon as that became obvious, as soon as Restra and Jarstakos were able to take out the 2 guys they were fighting, they moved on 1. Trying to keep it very nebulous. So while these 3 are fighting number 1, there's other bandits fighting those 3 as well. But Daven got slashed in the leg. Yes, slashed in the leg and went down. Misses Constitution roll. He's out. Juchi shot the first guy in the arm with the arrow. So he pulls out, and Juchi goes to he's going to do first aid on Lars to bring him out of treat shock. Is the way the book in first aid is talking about it. You can use first aid to stop bleeding, treat shock, and this kind of stuff, right? 1 melee round to do that. He's in shock because of the slash, but it doesn't tell you that what's the result of a successful first aid roll for a slash? Shock. Missed roll. Does he then get to make another Constitution minus damage times 5% roll, or does he just come up? And I kind of I tossed that back and forth in my head a couple of times, but one of the guys said, "Yeah, he's got only saw snap." So okay, sure, right. Lars, David, you're up next round. But his leg is still down because he's got negative points in his leg. But after all the ganging up on number 1, somebody got Jarstakos used the cold blade matrix in the dagger on his sword and attacking number 1 guy. Was successful. Number 1 guy did block it, but it does so much damage that it got through the shield and did enough damage to his head for him to go unconscious. I didn't actually figure out his hit points. He should probably have had more than 12. 12 is what I pretty much given everybody else. I gave everybody else Constitution of 10 plus 1. Gave everybody else 11 hit points. And He probably should have been more like 13, which would have given more points in the head. Because at first I figured, yeah, he took 10 points of damage to the head. So 5-point head, double. Yeah, he's unconscious and bleeding out. But it took him 2 rounds to get a successful first aid to stop the bleeding for him. So they were able to save him and 2 of the other bandits that took wound legs. Because once the leader went down, everybody split. They scattered to the winds. So they healed the 2 party members that had gone down. They healed the 3 bandits that had gone down, and they took them to Black Spear. Coordinated with the Lord of Black Spear, the clan Thane. Hey, if you would, please coordinate the ransom for these 3, and you can take 10% off the top for your troubles. Good to go. We can do that. Yeah, you bet. Okay, so they can leave that behind them and continue on. But at that point, especially towards the end of the battle, what luckily turned out to be the end of the battle, it was getting close to chomp time, and one of my players, he was reaching his end. But we were able to, finish the combat and get onto Black Spear. So that's how the session finished. 21 minutes. Man, I talk too much. Happy gaming.